The outrage last night was staggering. In a week of Manchester United off the pitch has been more dominating than the week on the pitch because we didn't play football. I'm here to talk about the media and the role they play in creating certain inflating stories. And is it fake news or is it real news? We're here to talk about it, people. Welcome back to the channel. This is Mick Ruby. Of course, we're going to talk about the Jadon Sancho story. We're going to talk about the outrage of us being linked to El Ghazi, which turned out to be kind of a little bit of a fake news. We're going to dissect that as well. And what's going on with the takeover news with the new sponsorship with Qualcomm? It's been rumored out, written by the Athletic as well. And what else? Yes, of course, the story of the Brazilian winger Antony dos Santos that seems to have no legs, more than accusation galore, like a soap opera taken from Netflix FC. But welcome to Good Vibe FC. I am Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV. On a Tuesday, the day recording, I think is the 12th, was nothing to sort of report. It's like a dry, like a Sahara desert at the moment. But please do not forget to like and subscribe to this video. If you want to buy us a coffee, you can scan this QR code below or go into the video description to support this channel. You can buy me one coffee, two coffee, three coffees. You can buy me as many coffees as you want because I certainly need to wake up a little bit. But in the midst of everything, let's dive into the stories. Let's see what's been going on. There's been a lot of things in the Twitter outrage. Starting off with Laurie Whitwell. I mean, it started off with Chris Wheeler yesterday. And this is all down to that horrible defeat against Arsenal when we absolutely got robbed from the VAR people, you know. And after that, we've seen the stories of the fallout with Jadon Sancho, the Mexican showdown created by the press. It's been Jadon versus Erik tenhag. And then on top of everything, you've seen the allegations galore, the Brazilian soap opera, Alegria. You know, Antony's getting accused left, right, center. He's having a interview, crying his eyes out, bawling, looking straight into the camera. And the body language shows that, according to my opinion, a man that is defeated, that is kind of claiming he's innocent. But anyway, we're here as a Good Vibe FC because we're a Manchester United fan community. We're not a Hollywood insider to report on these kind of allegations, but we got to talk about it. And at the end of the day, what matters in my heart and probably millions of other fans is Manchester United and our players. So I'm here to sort of to protect our players against the media and the fake news as well. Look, at the end of the day, Laurie Whitwell came out to say today, and thank God, this is what I was saying because, Chris Wheeler was coming out that Manchester United was breaking news, interesting in the ex-West Ham winger, El Ghazi. And the outrage was a fact, especially on Twitter. We can see here definitely, from United's People TV saying as well, the outrage to the last night was staggering with ton of weapons pointing the finger at Erik tenhag. El Ghazi is a free agent. Yes, he is. United have Antony indefinitely absent of and Sancho future in doubt. Of course, El Ghazi agent will propose his player. Doesn't mean he wants him. 100% spot on. Laurie Whitwell comes out earlier today, this morning, to say Manchester United not interested in Anwar El Ghazi. After proposal by his agent, right-wing options affected by Antony's withdrawal. It's not really a withdrawal. It's a little bit more of a going on a garden leave to take himself out of the press. Plus Sancho's situation. Palestra was kept as to view for the future. Plus Garnacho could play on that wing as well. We got Fernandes. We got Mason Mount if necessary. So fake news, in other words. I responded as well. It's normal, absolutely normal, by the agent. That's the reason why you're agent. When you have an agent to speak to clubs, to offer the services of his clients, especially when, the contract's expired. So has the Sancho story been blown out of proportion as well? I mean, media is creating this Mexican showdown story, and that is kind of the end, according to my opinion. Because on this channel, I always look at the facts versus the figures versus what's really out there, what's true. And it's clearly been inflated by media, I certainly see, because if you look at the Jadon Sancho statement and actually what tenhag was saying after the defeat, He was clearly upset because we got robbed by VAR. He said that as well. He got asked the question. He simply said, like, I pick certain players for a certain occasion, and this instant we didn't pick Jadon Sancho. That's it, right? Jadon Sancho was quickly to back himself, but if you look at Jadon Sancho's story, I don't find him throwing the manager out of the bus. He's saying that, don't believe the lies what the media is saying. Point number two. Point number two in that statement to say, I will give my heart and everything. I give everything on the pitch, and I feel I've been used as a scapegoat here. Is Jadon Sancho pointing at the media agenda? What do we know? What's going on behind the scenes? Apparently, media also created yesterday that there was having a Mexican showdown between the Gaffer and Jadon Sancho to have a conversation. I think that thing's been blown out of proportion, and I'll be surprised. I mean, absolutely be amazing to see Jadon Sancho starting against Brighton on that right wing, and that would be a massive big into the press as well. I mean, anyway, that's just my humble opinion. And let's talk about Antony dos Santos as well. There was United Stand exclusively leaked out the conversation what this Ingrid had, and it looks like a farce. It looks like three jealous women trying to get Antony. I mean, footballers are easy target, but if you look at the Mason Greenwood situation, at least we had some evidence, but this is hearsay. This is people coming forward. It smells a little bit like a targeted campaign, a shakedown, like, let's get Antony. And Antony seems like a very humble guy, at least what I see. If a man comes out and cry in front of the camera, looking straight into the interviewer's eye and say, I didn't do this, he's clearly been affected by these allegations. But we're not here to take stands. We are looking at two sides of the story. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, let the jurisdiction take its place. We are not here as a fan base to be the judge, jury, and executioner, right? Unless there is some compelling evidence available to the public, then we can start debating and throwing stones and point the fingers. But at this case, it smells like a little bit like a smear campaign, like chasing the money, chasing the cloud in certain ways. Right? It's easy to take photos to say I can run out tomorrow and bang my head in and take a picture and say, oh yeah, by the way, my wife did this, but actually I banged my head on the door, right? We saw just a picture, some fingers wrapped up, and that's it. Nothing to say that it was Antony that did it. So I would nipped it in the bud, and at the end of the day, the club came out with a statement that we are giving the player a little bit of a garden leave. Why? It's not that he's guilty. It's just to protect himself and protect the player and protect everyone in this story. Because clearly, if it's affected your mental health as a player, and I'm sure that Antony doesn't think to play football at the moment. He's thinking to clear out this mess so he can come back fresh and play football. At this point of view, I stand by the club. I protect the badge. And this is what Realist TV is all about. We call a spade because media has been dragging this club for far too long as a gravy train, trying to dirten, the badge, creating stories that are actually bigger. The leaks that's come out last season. And again and again and again creating stories, the divide and conquer story to throw the manager under the bus. No more. I would say no more. At the end of the day, the Bruno agenda is also being created by certain fans and media. But I would just say that Bruno, yesterday, show class what a talent we have. We're not talking about talent ID. We're talking about outputs. Last season alone, Bruno played every single game almost once. He got a little bit injured, but he's been ripping up trees. The criticism of the back of the 4 games that we played, or 3 games that we played, of course, has been all down to lack of form or fitness. But with the international break, players are getting fitness, players are getting back into the form again, and Bruno has been showing scintillating form at Portugal. Yesterday, Portugal picked up a massive win, 9-0 against Luxembourg. Bruno Fernades was scintillating performance. even being man of the match. So I don't really get where the Bruno hate is coming from, right? I think he picked up 4 assists, or was it 3 assists? But he's absolutely want to display this, what happened yesterday. Why Bruno Fernades is such an important player. Why Bruno Fernades needs to have more of a free-range role playing in the central number 10 role. Look at this. Let's rewind. Look at this outboot swinger perfectly bang into the head. It's not the first time Bruno does this, to be honest. So what is the problem with Bruno? Why are people hating on Bruno? Even KVB came out to say he rated Bruno Fernades as the top attacking midfielder in Premier League. Right? So far, he's contributing for Portugal 4 assists and 3 goals in 10 matches. That is ridiculous output. We know that Bruno is a stat padder, but at the end of the day, I'm excited about us moving forward. I get the fan base looking at the past performance, but I feel we have the new United coming in after the international break. With players coming back from injuries like Kobbie Mainoo, we signed a Amrabat that is so pivotal in that back line, in the central defending midfield. And on top, we have a focal point in Rasmus Højlund that's been doing bits for Denmark as well. We will see a total different United. Clearly, we didn't have every player fit in the first 3 games, but now they look dangerous. And I believe, by looking at the stats and figures from last season, because we had similar situation last season when we came back from that international break after defeat against Brighton and also Brentford. We came back from that international break and we went on a winning streak, 12 in a row. So, is it plausible to say that we will do the same? I believe so. I definitely believe so, and I believe that we should silence that media. Anyway, guys, this has been a short, snappy update. There's nothing more to report. There is pretty drought out there, but if there's anything further coming out, of course, we're here to give you the latest and greatest about Manchester United. It's been Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see us to the next time. Bye for now.